Watching a door open has never been more fun. Hello there guys, I'm Squawker and welcome to my review of Batman Arkham Asylum. Okay, same rules last time. The game can score up to 100 points. There are 5 categories worth 20 points each. They are graphics, gameplay, sound, story, and replayability. So sit back, relax, whatever, open, have beer, just enjoy or not enjoy, depends. Arkham Asylum boasts very good graphics. I mean, I'm not overly picky on graphics when I game, it's not my main thing, but I really did like the dark colour schemes used in this game. That gives it the essence of creepiness in the asylum. I mean, the designers have definitely put in a great deal of time and effort into designing this place, and I don't know why, but scattered around the asylum there are loads of television screens that Joker appears on every now and then, and I don't know why, but I have this thing with television screens, and your enemy's looking at you, or you're looking at your enemy, and that just gives the game a free mark. It's just cool. To criticise the graphics of the game would be a knife to my heart, considering how much I actually loved playing this game and how much I just love Batman in general. But I searched my soul and I found 3 main complaints towards the graphics in this game. The first one is lip syncing. Occasionally in like game over screens, Joker's lip syncing is a little bit off. You'll notice it if you like concentrate, but also at times when Batman's having a talk, his mouth doesn't move at all, and I don't think that's a game messing with me. That's just not really very good. The second is pop-in textures, which happen now and then, mainly when you start a challenge, and luckily they go away pretty quickly, but it just doesn't look great. But fortunately, it doesn't affect the character models, it's just the background. The third one is Henchman. Sometimes when I knock one to the ground, he will have a good old jiggle, which is funny but a little bit annoying and a little bit creepy. There is loads I could say on the graphics in this game, and I'm aware that I could take up so much time with it, so I just have 2 more points to hit up upon, then we move on to the next category. The first is character animations. They are brilliant. Batman has dozens, hundreds, thousands of moves he uses in combat. He flows so nice and he has loads of special moves. My favourite in particular is this one where he literally grabs a villain and then just gets him on the floor, breaks his leg. It's brutal, but for some reason I just love that move. Also in stealth missions, when you begin to pick off guards, they start to get a bit paranoid, and the animators did a good job on making them look scared. You see them quivering a bit and maybe jumping around, looking scared. And also, you can just see them just trying to be tactical, but mostly it's just walk into a room, fire your gun everywhere, hoping you're going to hit Batman, who is gloating from the top of a gargoyle most of the time. As for character design, you can see a lot of influence from the animated series of Batman, which is especially mainly centered around the Joker and Batman. Some of the other characters have completely new and very dark designs, which all look awesome. I don't think there's one character who I don't like in terms of design, and the character bios they're very well drawn and simple as. The thugs are a little bit generic, and you'll probably come across like the same exact skinned like guy probably twice, 3 times, whatever in the game, but name me a game that doesn't have generic enemies. Looking at Batman, I'm not 100% fond of the design of his armor. I mean, full credit for that awesome chin, but the armor just looks a little bit like it was pulled out of a new Batman Adventures, which wasn't the best in terms of design in my opinion. I'm also not sure about his bat swimming trunks. Kind of a fashion blunder he made there. For graphics for Batman Arkham Asylum, I am awarding to them a 17 out of 20. The gameplay is just brilliant, and you will be doing quite a few different things, which is good. One minute you may find yourself beating up thugs, or doing a stealthy takedown in a whole room of henchmen with guns. Or you may find yourself being the world's greatest detective and doing detective stuff. The controls are dead simple, you'll learn them very quickly, and combat is an absolute snap. You press one button to do the punch of justice, another one to counter a henchman's injustice, and another one to perform the vengeance stun with your fucking awesome cape. It can be a little bit annoying to counter at times because Batman won't always respond in the heat of his battle, but time it right and you will rack up a massive combo. Oh yeah, the free-flowing combat is cool. It focuses on doing big combos, which you can do special moves. I probably should have mentioned it earlier, but yeah. There are also quite a few variants of enemies which you have to adapt to in combat, which is always good. Batman also has a huge array of gadgets and upgrades you can earn throughout the course of a game. It's fun learning what you can do with them, or using them to find the secrets scattered around the asylum, but more of that later. Also, the boss fights are freaking awesome. Each one is pretty different, and you'll have to find a way of beating them without being killed. It's fun to work things out, I think. No gameplay issues spring to mind. I guess I've already mentioned sometimes Batman doesn't counter and it does grow a bit annoying now and then. The grappling, I love grappling around, but sometimes it's a little bit annoying because sometimes you can't pull off a precision grapple. You might want to grapple onto a ledge, but Batman goes, no, I want this to be on this gargoyle instead. And Batman's a little bit tricky to steal when gliding, but that's a case of practice, I think. I give the gameplay a score of 19 out of 20. The game has pretty good music. It's not loud and in your face. It's pretty subtle, but it fits the mood so well as it just fits the creepiness of the asylum. And the music in the combat is fast-paced but not over the top, except when you're fighting the Joker's more elite henchmen. And the stealth music's calm but gives a sense of danger as armed thugs patrol the area, and when you start picking them off it speeds up a bit to match the growing panic of the henchmen. Boss music's pretty good as well. As for voice acting, well, faultless really. Kevin Conroy as Batman, awesome. Mark Hamill as Joker, awesome. And all the other voice actors fit their characters pretty well. The thugs sound like thugs, Scarecrow sounds, well, horrible, evil, freaky, whatever. Seriously, just listen to this.
The end of fear, oblivion.
And returning to the Joker, he's an endless source of comedy and terror. His voice goes from funny to creepy in like 1 second. Well done, Mark Hamill, you've done it again. To demonstrate this, here are 2 voice clips of the Joker from the game.
Come on! Someone must have seen where he went! Big scary man! Wears a cape? Jumps out of the shadows! The super sun! Anyone? No? Good! Greeting, residents of Joker Asylum! Some of our crazy, I guess, have crashed the party early. And when I say crazy, I mean real psycho. Word of warning, if anyone sees a dribbling fool barking at the moon, or maybe just purring like a kitten, do your civic duty. Walk up to them, put your arm around them, show them that you care before you wreck necks.
Pretty cool, isn't he? The audio gets a score of 20 out of 20 because I have no criticism whatsoever of it, and I even did soul searching and everything, but just go with it. Arkham Asylum has a brilliant story. It has twists, turns, and at some points this game really messes with your head or even scares you half to death. I won't say too much of the story because spoilers, but basically the Joker has been returned to Arkham Asylum after his latest little crime spree, and he manages to escape captivity with what seems to be like a desperate escape attempt soon escalates into a grand plan designed by the Joker soon after he takes complete control of the asylum. The story is pretty solid and it's pretty much plot holeless. does slip once or twice, and it's not overly long, but it's mostly engaging, and there are also a few side stories going on if you're willing to scour the asylum to find them. And there are a few characters that are unique to the game, example being Warden Sharp, and you'll learn to love or hate these characters. It's a matter of opinion. The story gets a score of 17 out of 20. The game does have some replayability, but I think this is really the game's weak spot. There is a lot of stuff to do in the asylum, don't get me wrong. Between objectives you'll get to explore the asylum freely, and the Riddler has left a multitude of riddles and hidden items to find. Some of which you won't be able to find until you have the correct gadgets, and it's interesting to look for little Easter eggs scattered around linking to the DC universe. Such as in one of the offices in Arkham Mansion, you will find Black Mask's mask. Some of the Riddler challenges are pretty challenging, meaning you'll have to fully scour the asylum to find the answer. Not all of them are necessarily items. The Riddler has been pretty cunning with these. And there's also an extra game mode called Challenge Mode, which helps you improve your combat and your stealth skills. I prefer the combat challenges more, as Joker pits you in 4 rounds against varied henchmen, which allows you to work out your best combat strategies and work on improving your score as well. Stealth challenges are okay, they involve moving stealthily and taking out a group of armed henchmen in a room. I wouldn't suggest attempting this until you have most of the gadgets available to you. Interestingly, to earn medals on this, it isn't about speed in these challenges, it's about how you do it. In the stealth challenges, you actually have to venture out of your comfort zone and perform some specific feats, such as blowing up a wall and taking a henchman down with it. So good marks there. But once you've finished the story, challenge mode is the only thing you have left to do without restarting the story again. Which is okay. If you want to do it on hard mode, go ahead, but I'll give you a warning here. Hard mode is hard, simple. And challenge mode will eventually become boring, or you'll reach this point where you achieve a score so good you can't improve it anymore. So sadly, this is where I think the game has a weakness. I mean, every worm has its weak spots, so the replayability of the game gets a 12 out of 20. There are a few things I haven't mentioned in this review actually make it a lot, but if I mentioned everything, I would either spoil the story or make this review last absolutely forever, because I loved this game. So I give to you now the total score, and I also give you my personal recommendation, as it's a pretty fun experience. Whether you act on it or not is your choice, 'cause my recommendation doesn't really mean crap. Anyway, on that note, goodbye.